Previously on Fortnite Follies, the V2 saga. Alright, that's another race done. 5th place. I dropped down a place from the last time, but it doesn't seem like that big a deal. Yup, complete races on Thrash Mountain. That is 2 out of 5. Nice. Alright, onwards to the next one then. If you made a guitar string with any other material, it would not work as well, because instead of what a guitar is supposed to sound like, you get something that's a bit off, so to speak. With metal, that is a lot harder, because, as I said before, it bends before it breaks, so that does not mean to say that it will not break. I'm just saying that the first of the two to happen is that it will bend. Another of my favorite genres is synth rock, just as long as it also doesn't have any vulgar lyrics. Take the Final Countdown, for instance. Loads of people love it, and for good reason. It's good song. Make as many runs as possible within the 7-minute time limit. I say assuming you get them, because you don't always get them unless I will eventually run into some of the racetracks that I've ran on in ranked racing. If this is your first time watching a Zeta Beetle Productions video, then hi. I'm Mardi Jester. I'm one of the characters that runs the channel, alongside Zeta Beetle, Vaxi, many of them. As a racer, anyway. Anyway, at least while racing, anyway. While in the battlefield, it's the other way around. Quite a lot. So let's go ahead and run again, because just 2.5 minutes remain. Alright, grabbing that. Okay, run again. Blum, 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 boom. Let's go on ahead and get on with the rest of it, shall we? No. It's just up to the editor, really, at this point, to determine whether they're going to use the wheels or not. So, just a tiny bit over a minute left. I need to do as many of these as humanly possible. One of the things about it is that the challenge definitely counts them, and I'll be able to check progress on said challenge. So once this run ends, that'll be the end of this race and the end of the episode in general. So that's quite a lot. Like I said before, I can't really count and commentate at the same time, because it takes a lot of my brain power to just commentate. Well, we've got another unaware kid watching YouTube, which is fine, because I do much the same thing sometimes. Play games and watch YouTube at the same time. But unfortunately, this happened while I was recording this, so unfortunately, I'm having to essentially mute everything that happens in this particular part. Also, I recognize that this is airborne because of Task Force Romeo. So now that's pretty cool, being able to have watched the races and recognize these tracks like this. We are currently 3 for 3. See, there was Festive Falls, then there was that one with the tunnel at the end, and now there's Airborne right here. And we are 3 for 3 as far as I can tell, because, like, excuse me. I just got over COVID, so I'm still having a bit of a lingering cough, and that's why it took me so long to get this out. Among other things, of course, but details. Anyway, the thing about it is, I don't mind because, like I said before, I do much the same thing. I watch the videos while I'm playing games or doing something else. But the thing that I do mind about it is that they were blaring it over their mic, which I'm having to mute now because copyright. I'm having to try and protect myself a little bit more from copyright more often. So yeah, that's really the only thing that I mind about this. And it's not really that big a deal because and there's not really much going on in terms of funny commentary or anything like that. Um, unless you repeatedly unless you consider repeatedly telling you, oh, do you want to know how much your Pokemon or sports card is worth? Select this app and scan your card so that you can get all the information about it. If you consider that funny, then you can go on ahead and look up that short yourself, because I am not going to risk a copyright claim or strike just to let you hear that over and over and over again. As it is, I'm kind of annoyed that I had to sit through that twice. Once during recording, and the second time during editing. So yeah, now we have finally made it out of the first volley of shorts, out of roughly 2. The second one, however, is shorter, and that's fortunate because now we get to listen to the actual music of this track, Airborne. So, if you can hear it past my loud mouth, that is. Another thing that COVID did to me is make it to where my hearing's a little bit impaired, shall we say. I've been having to clean my ears out with peroxide a lot. So if I seem louder than usual, I'm sorry, but there's not much I can do about it because my ear is stopped up and I can literally do nothing about it aside from what I've already been doing, which is cleaning it out.
Carson?
Alright, what you just heard is a audio cue that another stream of shorts is about to come on. But you don't have to listen to it, even though I've had to, because here in just a little bit, it's about to mute, like right here. So, this is the second stream of shorts. It is much, much shorter than the first, but it was still annoying to have to sit through that, because I was having to endure that while going through it while both recording and editing. So it's already ended, thank goodness. I wouldn't usually mind shorts, but if they are well made, that is mainly the exception. But I have a huge problem with repetitiveness. Like, once I've heard a short before, I'm like, okay, we've already heard it, let's go on, okay? If the short is well made, I can probably endure it for a bit longer. But even after that, I'm like, okay, we get the point. Just move on to the next video. preferably not a short. I mean, I get the appeal. I get why people like them. It's because they're short, and some people have a really small attention span, and they would like to just move on to the next thing. But to me, they are really annoying. I would rather watch a 30-minute video of somebody that I liked than to have to suffer through less than a minute or even at a minute of some rando that I don't even know or care enough about. Like, I make shorts, don't get me wrong, but it's because people like them. Generally, shorts are even not too terribly fun for me to make, because they're too short for me to effectively do much with. Fireworks, yeah, they can be done into a short, but many other things, it's much, much harder. Alright, let's see what we can do here now. So, if at any point I start hearing a video of any type, I will start muting it. But if I don't ever hear a music in this part, you get to, as much as you can through my loud mouth, hear the original music of the course itself. Or if applicable, you can hear the original music over their loudmouth. So yeah, that's my analysis in a nutshell. Anyway, let's move on with this, shall we? Let's just move on and see what all we can see here. So, this track is pretty. It has a lot of the. It has a lot of the most beautiful parts of winter in it, like the aurora up ahead, up above, the snow down below and to the sides. Well, you know what? Up ahead and to the sides, there's snow. And snow-covered trees, very beautiful sight. Especially considering that they are pine trees. This was very clearly a Christmas-themed level, and I can appreciate that. Because, well, Christmas holds a lot of significance for my people, okay? I know most of you prefer happy holidays and all that whatnot. I don't. I prefer Christmas because Christmas is the original thing that I've heard, and Christmas is I don't like change, okay? I'm not that great with change. Now, can I change if I had to? Absolutely. But if I don't have to, then I don't like to. The thing about it is, many people don't seem to understand how my mind is wired. So I'm going to try to explain it to you as best as I can. You know how I generally levitate more towards, or gravitate more towards, Zero Build and Lego Fortnite. I've never been good at building. You have seen this. And I've really only been getting worse and worse, even though I do remember the lessons that Twig Stomper has taught me. The reason being, it's hard to get yourself out of the zero build mindset when you've been playing it for pretty consistently for it started out in chapter 3 season 2, so let's say somewhere in the zip code of 2 years. At first I resisted zero build because back then I was still depending on some builds to save my life. But the more I practiced in zero build and the more I learned about it, the better I got. And it got to the point where I'm better at zero build than I am at build. So it's not that I have forgotten how to do it like Twiggy told me. It's just because I stay in that zero build mindset, even though I'm technically in build. Although sometimes when I'm in a pinch, I will start building walls and stuff like that. It's typically just boxing myself up like a fish. And while that's technically okay, it's not what the sweats do, and after a while I get overwhelmed anyway and get taken out anyway. And I know what you're going to say, but trust me when I say it's hard to get out of that mindset too, because it's something that I've done for like I started out in chapter 1 season 5, and chapter 1 season 4, I think midway through it, because I remember starting out during the Thanos live event, or not live event, game mode. The Thanos game mode, where the Infinity Gauntlet was the mythic item of that season, and so many people were going after it that I literally could not, because I was just starting out, had terrible Wi-Fi, and on top of that, I was struggling even without targeting the Infinity Gauntlet. So I have to say though, for having been struggling that much, I did manage one crucial victory the day following my first time ever playing. But the reason for that is because I had such a great team, because at that point my limits had already been well established. And I was just hiding in their builds and just watching to see how well we would do. Because to them I was dead weight. I could not aggressively fight, or I was down. Simple as that. So yeah. Still yet, it was still a victory nonetheless. Alright, let's go on to the next thing, shall we? This is new, so I'm not sure if this is an official track or not. So I'll just have to keep track of it during the ranked racing. Anyway, I kinda hope that this isn't a official track for ranked racing, otherwise I'm screwed, because look at all those hazards. If you remember from Task Force Romeo, nobody from the SDA has found a way to consistently dodge the hazards when they go like that. Like right there. See? I know I was a little bit too far to the right in order to do that, but still, that's a very that's a very good case in point moment right there. Um, the hazards when they are all over the place like that are a huge obstacle. So I know I'm gonna have my car demolished right there. So I'm still on the quest to complete runs in speed run. I forget exactly how many I had left at this point, but I know I'm almost finished. So I guess I could check on my notes. Okay. So I'm not going to say anything right now, but now I know where the speedrun challenge, the speedrun quest, is going to end. So here kind of breaks my point because I was able to dodge and weave through all of those hazards. But trust me when I say this is ever so slightly easier than what the time that Task Force Romeo had during the races where they had to impress Jackie. Because there was a track that was known as Bone Cavern 2, and that was hard. I was able to watch the footage from several of their computer chips, and I was very, very astonished by exactly how much they struggled. And the reason I was able to access some of their chips was because I was transferring some of the memory from from one chip to another. Like I was downloading the memory of V3D1, for instance. The main exceptions to the rule are the destroyer and Arctic destroyer droids, because they're from Katatech, and I had already handled their situation by simply putting in a command where they could only listen to me and whoever I told them to listen to. So if I ordered them to listen to Spidey because he's the team tactician, then they would listen to him almost with no questions asked. Um, but as for the rest of the droids, they got their third generation computer chip some time ago, and a majority of them had gotten them at this point because they the second generation was made by Carnage, and he has direct access to them via the old Vaxi network that the second generation was compatible with. However, now with the third generation computer chips and a new Vaxi network, which is exactly the same as the one that I connected the Black Ops droids to, he has no access to that network. So that's why during Operation Radio Silence, the V6 was calling every non-special ops droid. Now, why did I also stop sending the Black Ops droids into the field? Well, that's because even though they were connected to the new vaccine network, they still had the second generation vaccine control chip. So that meant that they still had the potential to be hacked into by Carnage. So I even replaced their Gen 2 cards with the Gen 3s that I made some time ago. They only just went into mass production stage, and the Arctic Series destroyers work pretty fast on the mass production part of it, because with the design process, with the design blueprints being sent to them, they're not quite as fast as Carnage, but they do have the ability to go faster than me. Because I'm only human, and they can work through the night, because aside from recharging their batteries, they don't require any rest. And there are no other droids that I really trusted to do the job besides the Arctic Series destroyers, because I know V2 was made by Carnage originally, or actually by his new host. So, yeah, I didn't trust that she didn't have ulterior programming. Remember how I said that I now know where the end of the uh, speedrun quest is? Well, this is it right here. This is the end. I'm not gonna say that I won't go back to speedrun, because if there is a quest for speedrun, you know I'm going to be going after that quest. All I'm saying is the quest to complete runs in speedrun is almost over, because this is the final race. This is the final session in which I had to do this. Now, it is worth noting that I will complete these runs well before the end of this session. However, as per my usual format, when it comes to this channel, I will show off the entire session of speedrun regardless. Because if I show off the round even though I finish off the challenge within that round, then I have to do the same for the races and speedruns. So there you go. That's the whole thing. You get to listen to my freshly recovering voice from COVID for the next 6 minutes and 20 seconds from the time that this clip started. So, however many seconds have passed, that's how many much less that you have to listen to me for. So while we're doing this, the thing about speedrun is like I said before, you're only really racing against yourself, even though there are other people here. So I don't really care about beating anyone else. As a matter of fact, I don't really care about beating myself, because after a certain point that becomes impossible, because I've already gone through as fast as I can, and as such I and as such I have made it basically impossible to beat my own time. Now there are some moments where I got what I think it was an unbeatable time, and then I beat myself anyway. But after a certain point, it does in fact become impossible because I have already taken a path that I've already gotten the best time on, and as such, I can think of nothing else that would be faster than my own fastest time. So, you're about to see that. You're about to see exactly what I'm talking about when I say, at some point, my own fastest time becomes unbeatable, because as you can see, my ghost is leaving me in the dust. That was me in the previous lap, in the previous run, having done the absolute level best that I can. And I'm not just going to slow myself down in a previous run and then do the next run and then just do the last run the fastest I could possibly do, because the whole point of the quest is to view quantity over quality. So really and truly, the only reason that I would legitimately run over hazards just deliberately would be to it would be to kind of do a little tutorial for myself that I can just watch back whenever I please. Just as long as I use an easy to remember name, which should be easy because I already have the name of this video pre-planned. It's going to be called Fortnite Follies, Earning My Ride Part 2. And the reason it's called Earning My Ride is because even though I had this vehicle in Rocket League, all the rest of these people have to play through rocket racing and completing all these quests in order to get it. Now, the question here would be, do I actually go ahead and get the car in question? I'm not so sure. Like, I guess I do go ahead and exit after having completed all those runs, because I very clearly have 55 seconds left, but I'm just sticking on this screen. So I believe that would be the end of the episode. Au revoir, mes amis.